Alright guys, so this is another Patreon request, and this one comes from John McKinney, who asked me to do a Proud Family Courage the Cowardly Dog crossover. But as always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon where you guys can hit the third tier, and you guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this, and yeah, so let's get started with the story idea. So the story begins basically with the Proud family on a road trip. They've been selected for a special for a once in a lifetime vacation in a resort in the middle of nowhere. And Oscar, being the cheapskate that he is like, all expenses pays for a vacation, and we get to go for free. And Sugar Mama's like, you know that's probably a scam. They're probably gonna try to sell us a timeshare. But Oscar doesn't care. He's just like, free and relaxing. They're two of my favorite words. Everybody in the car. So, the Proud family is on a road trip into the middle of nowhere, Kansas. And, as you can expect, the car breaks down. Where they actually break down in front of a certain little, they actually break down in front of a certain little farmhouse in the middle of nowhere. And that turns out, of course, to be Eustace and Muriel's home. So they actually knock on the door for help, and Eustace immediately, when he sees guests arrive, he goes, "We don't want any," slams the door. And Muriel then appears. It's like, oh my, would you, nice family, would you like to come in for some tea? He's like, Muriel, they're trying to sell us something. And Oscar explains, we ain't trying to sell you anything, old man. My car broke down and I need help. So Muriel then goes, oh, you and Eustace should work on the car. He's great with mechanics. So Eustace and Oscar go to fix the car, and the rest of the family stays inside, where Penny actually meets Courage. And Courage is, of course, nervous about meeting someone new, because every time, 90% of the time, whenever a new person comes into the house, it's usually a monster, or a sorceress, or a demon, or something worse. So, so he's a little timid at first, but then Penny pets him gently, and he's like, oh. So Penny gets him to trust him, but then he has to run from the twins because they more or less terrorize him. Sugar Mama's dog also terrorizes poor Courage, and it leads to shenanigans. However, he stays close to Penny. Meanwhile, Oscar and Eustace are trying to fix the car, and they're having small talk. And he's like, yeah, so my family and I were, offered a free vacation to this resort out here in nowhere, Kansas. You guys know anything about that? And he's like, nah, but I like the words free. So Eustace convinced Muriel and Courage to tag along, and they after getting the car fixed. They end up driving to this resort, and Courage immediately goes, no, because he sees the sign. It's Cat's Sleepaway Resort. So our villain is, of course, Katz. So Katz is behind this resort, and Courage is immediately trying to warn everybody about, obviously this is a bad idea, especially to Eustace and Muriel, who've been through this so many goddamn times, it's not even funny anymore. So he's trying to, frantically tell them, hey, we need to go, that's Katz. And even when Katz shows up, Penny's like, okay, y'all seeing this, right? There's a talking cat. Yeah, that's a straight-up cat that is trying to talk to us. And even Oscar's like, I don't care if it's Mickey Mouse. I'm getting my free vacation. And Eustace is like, I like your thinking. So they just think it's a weird, it's a free it's a free resort. Obviously, there's obviously some kind of weird thing. Even Trudy says, for all we know, maybe this could be a furry convention. So, but obviously everyone's like, that's a fucking cat. Does anyone not know how weird that is? But Eustace and Muriel are like, that's just how it is in nowhere. oddities are all around us, special little oddities, and Oscar and Eustace are actually being bros, because at first Eustace and Oscar are kind of standoffish, but while they're making small talk, they actually talk about being cheap and wanting to make more money, and also how they hate their respective dogs. Sugar Mama's dog, and obviously Eustace with Courage. So they're becoming the best of friends. Eustace and Oscar are becoming the best of friends. So from there, things go bad, because that night, there's people, members of the family are starting to get kidnapped, and it's actually Courage who actually sees that Katz has rigged this he's basically rigged it full of traps that they're narrowly escaping absent-mindedly, and Penny realizes this and runs to go save her family and runs into Courage, and Courage is like, obviously I'm not going to do the whole thing, but you know when he's panicking and trying to tell someone about something going horribly wrong. So Penny and Courage team up to try to save the respective family, because they're all getting snatched up and they have to dodge various traps, and they have to avoid all these different traps and several other forms of darts shooting out of a wall that opens up and reveals a giant spider, things like that. And of course there's a lot of screaming coming from Courage. And we get to the end of it, and it's revealed that Katz is trying to he's basically trying to build his own H.H. Holmes. He reveals in a plot that I've always been a fan of one H.H. Holmes. I always thought his art of murder was superb. I was trying to outdo that. And and Eustace is like, that's how they always get you with the freebie stuff. So from there, Courage and Penny have to team up in order to stop Katz. And actually, Courage offers to distract Katz, and Katz is just like, very well, I will play your game, dog. We shall play a game of tic-tac-toe. And Courage is like, oh? So while Katz is being distracted in a tic-tac-toe game with Courage, and it's he basically got Katz says, best 2 out of 3 wins. So Courage is trying to play against him, while Penny is trying to frantically save Eustace and Muriel along with the rest of the Proud family, and Courage gets his ass handed to him. However, he's like, tic-tac-toe, you lose, old boy. And Courage is like, and he was like, what's so funny? I didn't think humor would, you'd find something humorous in death. And he points behind him, and it's Sugar Mama with her sandal off, just like, boy, you gonna get it, and proceeds to pummel Katz into oblivion. So by the end of it, the family decides to part ways, but Oscar and Eustace are like, well, if you're ever in Nowhere, Kansas, don't look me up. He's like, you got a Facebook? What the hell's a Facebook? So they part ways. All good. That's the end of the story. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my Proud Family, Courage the Cowardly Dog story. You guys tell me in the comments below what you guys think of it. And once again, I'd like to thank John McKinney for this Patreon request, as well as continued patronage. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.